How's it going? Welcome back to another video journal. This is episode 90. We're on episode 90 of the video journal. Let's get you caught up. Just what's been going down. I'm a day behind. This is Monday night. I'm recording this. There's no real schedule, but I typically do them on Sundays and get them out on Mondays. But I didn't do it yesterday because I was working on Word on the Street. I had 4 podcast recordings yesterday on Sunday, and by the time I was done, not only was my voice dead, my brain was dead. It was pretty crazy by the end of it. But it was great. I'm really glad for it. I typically don't tell you who I recorded. I usually save that, and then I tell you, who I did. So last week was Swamp Heavy. And I don't actually remember anything specific at this moment about that podcast, other than it was rad. Those guys were cool. They had a lot of fun. They seemed to enjoy it. I enjoyed it. We laughed. We had a good time. One thing I think I mentioned before, one thing I do know is that I feel like I'm better at one-on-one than I am with more than one person with the podcast, because it's, you get on the roll of the conversation and it's easier to get deeper with it. And that's my goal. I want to get deeper with the conversation than stay on the surface. And when there's more people, I feel this because of just the way I do it. And I haven't learned all the tools yet on how to get deeper with more than one person. But you get to know one person, but then you can't give them all the time. So you have to kind of cut it off and jump over to another person. And so it starts it all over again. It bumps it kind of back up to the surface, and then you kind of work your way in. So, I don't know. That's just that. That's what it feels like. So I'll just leave it at that. I'll also mention that yesterday I had 2 bands, 2 groups of 4 people. Part of that group of 4 podcasts I recorded, there were 2 of them were bands. And so it got me really thinking about that process of podcasting more than one person. So there's that. Do you guys do Snapchat? I do Snapchat. I'm going to do a Snapchat right now while we are recording this, because I've totally gotten into the Snapchat. So check it out. So let's look at this. Alright, I'll Snapchat this right here like this. So I'm Snapchatting while I'm doing the video journal. Check it out, yo. Yep, theZim's video journal. Here it is, Snapchat style. So there, I just sent that off to my stories. Check me out. Go find me. It's thezimyo is my Snapchat handle. I'm digging it. I don't know. I'm just enjoying Snapchat for some reason. It took me a while to get into understand it. Like the whole idea of writing. I don't write text over it. I just do a video and send it out to the world. And I really like that you can track how many people look at it, and it seems accurate. This is the problem I have with YouTube, not YouTube, but Facebook video. It really doesn't seem like their algorithm, their number tracking is actually people that look at it and hear it, and it's just kind of maybe shows up in their feed. But we know Facebook kind of is just a garbage right now, whereas Snapchat's still in a place where it's a growing place, so people are actually looking at what's happening when they are actually looking at it, whereas your Facebook feed just rolls in. But we'll leave that there for now. I don't really want to go into that. I did want to catch you up just on a personal note. I don't know why, I just wanted to right now I'm in a kind of a mellowed out mood because I'm doing that process of re-enrolling my kids into school, and it brings up financial issues and things like that. So I'm just in a weird space trying to work that out. But I just did that right before I recorded this. Entered the financial aid information and the re-enrollment information, and hopefully, fingers crossed, things just kind of keep going as they are. There's a little there's a little possibility that things might change, which makes me anxious. So, would change meaning that they might require more they might not offer as good a financial aid as I've been getting or something like that. So we'll see what happens. Fingers crossed. Pray for it, I guess. Got to give some shout outs. There's 3 people in particular that have been rocking it for Word on the Street and the Zim in the last week or so. Dave Larson. So Dave Larson I had on my podcast. He has his own podcast. Nobody knows. I've known you too long. Well, his podcast network is Nobody Knows. His actual, like, one of his podcasts, the one that I listen to most, or the only one I've listened to. He has 2 that I know of. The one I listen to is called I've Known You Too Long, and he's talking to people that has been in his life, and it's a really good podcast because he has been involved in, like, the hardcore scene for a really long time and the music scene in Seattle. So the conversations he has are all about the early hardcore and punk scene, or not early, but era, the 90s era, I guess, hardcore and punk scene of Seattle. And so you get these great stories about what it was like, and they name drop different bands and different people. So it's a great place to mine for what happened then, and it's just kind of cool. And then you can kind of trace it into modern times if you want, but their conversations kind of they stay in the past a little bit, but it's cool. I enjoy it. He's a great podcaster. He's got a really good voice for podcasting, and he keeps the conversations really smooth and enjoyable to listen to. So check that out when you have time. It's Dave Larson's podcast called I've Known You Too Long. And if I'm motivated enough, I'll put the link in somewhere down there. Not on the video, but in the description of the video. So that's one shout out. Another shout out, as I've told you before, I did the Seattle Music Scene Documentary 2 with the Braxmatics. And Adrian Braxton, the lead person in the Braxmatics, actually, shared the post, shared the video with a whole bunch of his people, which is awesome. I love it when that happens. It's very hard to get people to actually share this stuff to a enthusiastic degree, which I need to have happen. And he shared it, and he also did like a paid post on Facebook for the video. So awesome. It's like at almost 200 views now, which is great, which is cool. And we'll see if it goes up anymore. Maybe it'll get people to be more aware of the podcast as well. Word on the Street. And then the last shout out was just today, this morning, Monday morning, CJ Kenton, who was on the podcast as well, author or writer, and she wrote this really amazing message on Facebook to me about what I'm doing that made me feel really good, and it gave me a little bit of energy for the day, feeling validated, like extremely validated by what she said. And to paraphrase it, it was just something along the lines of, I'm a dream builder, like helping other people live their dreams by presenting a forum for bands and others to come in and, act like professionals in a sense, act like, be asked to talk about themselves and be interviewed like, all the famous people that we like have been interviewed numerous times. So, and I guess I'm kind of creating a forum. And she said something in her message that I believe. It was like, if you want to be something, act like it, and it was in relation to acting like you're already famous, I guess, in a way. Famous isn't the right word, but if you want to be a professional musician, act like one kind of thing, or if you want to be something, act like it. And I've personally always agreed with that, and that's basically why I do all this stuff for myself. It's like, this is what I want, so why not just do it and act like it? So it falls in line with what I'm saying, but just to receive that message today and see it on Facebook, it was pretty awesome. So thanks, CJ, for doing that. CJ Kenton. And go check out the podcast I did with her and learn about her projects. It was 60, either 59 or 60, I think. It was 60. So check that out, version 60 of the podcast. I guess that's it for today. I'll leave it at that. Oh, I'm going to mention one other thing. I've decided what I'm going to do in the next Bumbershoot this year coming up, I'm going to get a booth at Bumbershoot and record podcasts at Bumbershoot. I'm not going to say live at Bumbershoot, but at Bumbershoot, record podcasts and I'll publish them maybe the night of I do them, or I'll put them out on my regular Thursdays. But I want to start doing the podcast, set up a booth, have a banner, do all that stuff to advertise for it, but then also actually record podcasts at them. And what inspired the thought of doing that was I saw a bunch of my friends, a few of my friends anyway, go to the NAMM show, which is I don't know what it stands for, the acronym stands for, but it's a big music industry show every year where it's about products, musical products. A lot of the brands go there and show their products off and what's new and coming out and all that stuff. And I was like, I want to go there as well for next year and do the same kind of thing. But I was like, what can I do locally first? What kind of place, what kind of forum will a lot of people be going through? And I was like, Bumbershoot, okay, let's do it. So just today I thought of that. I'm like, okay, I'm going to figure out, contact Bumbershoot right now. After I'm done this, I'm going to contact Bumbershoot and find out how much a booth costs and tell them who I am and see what manifests through that. So that's one of my goals. That's one of my next things I want to do with the podcast. So now you know. So thanks for joining. Got tired. I should go to bed now as well. Try to do a few more things before I hit the hay. I like to try to look at the camera rather than looking at the screen. So now I'm looking at the screen. My eyes look kind of like crooked right now. I guess they're always kind of crooked. But now I'm looking at the camera. Screen, camera, screen, camera. Anyways, I'm the Zim. This has been the Zim's Video Journal, episode 90. Did some Snapchat. Check me out on Snapchat, yo. I love the Snapchat. It's great. It's great. It's fun. It's cool. I like it. I don't know. I just like seeing it's like more real, because you can't really. I don't think you can upload like Vine, right? You upload videos that you make. So you spend more time on it, where Snapchat's just like in the moment. And sometimes like some people will do a lot, so you see these kind of like... I'll tell you one thing though. You don't need to show yourself smoking that much. Everybody shows themselves smoking something. That's the biggest thing. It's like, okay, great, you smoke. Awesome. Cigarettes, weed, vapes, whatever it is. Great. I don't know the fascination with Snapchatting the whole anyways, but I don't smoke, so I guess I don't get it. I don't relate. That's enough rambling. Peace out, yo. Thanks for joining. See you next week.